the front end, goes down, gonna come out with this hole shot, side by side with Ryan Villapoto.
Langston got buried.
Watch Langston from the inside.
Inside is short.
Putting it up.
Dr. Villapoto gets by as well. Here we go from Anaheim. Go! Stewart with a huge wobbly. Carmichael can't capitalize. Here he comes. Villapoto was only one.
Look at Villapoto trying to jump the baseline double. He goes down.
Supercross 2006, the gladiators of this two-wheeled mayhem, they're ready to go. Let's get it started. The Lights class, Anaheim 1. It's all about the new kids. Michael Essie, Ryan Villapoto, Andrew Short. Ryan Villapoto draws first blood.
2 riders down.
Alessi down and Nathan Ramsey down.
Here you can see the Red Bull KTM on board.
Justin Brayton
He goes right into the back of him, and down he did go. And he's coming right after Land. This is for third. Got him. Battle for second is a great one right now. Billy Laninovich sees it go away.
I rode pretty tight and wasn't breathing a lot. And kind of fell off the pace a little bit, and Short caught me.
Ryan Villapoto in his first Supercross race ever, hole shots and almost wins. But Andrew Short gets him at the end and takes the victory. The Supercross class, Anaheim 1. This is what we'd all been waiting for. And this is where we saw the rise of Kid Dynamite, James Bubba Stewart.
Screen, he's gonna get clipped, he's gonna go down big time. You see him, the helmet get taken out with the front wheel. He's down and out, high sides over the top of everyone, goes down, catches a rear wheel right in the head. You don't want to drop your front end. He did just that, gets bucked off the side of the motorcycle, and down the legend goes, just like...
First race of the year, the track was tough. People were nervous, and there were bodies flying everywhere.
Going into the first round at Anaheim 1, a lot of hype, a lot of anticipation, everything that you could imagine for the so-called perfect storm.
Everyone said last year was the most exciting year. You guys said the same thing, but you know, it's the same guys up here. It's going to be good.
Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, Chad Reed, new things came in this year as well. You know, now there's not even one 250 out there. It's all the 454 strokes in that class. So big changes have been made this year, and I think everybody, it's sort of a learning year for everybody. Ricky Carmichael said it best, may the best man win.
He drops it, we're underway.
James came out, Anaheim 1. It was a James that we'd never seen before. Full of maturity, full of patience, brand new bike, brand new number. He was going to make this the season of his life.
Should be hopefully a new beginning this year, and see what happens.
On the Suzuki, the yellow number 4, and there's James Stewart coming to the inside. Stewart, spot away.
Carmichael gave Stewart way too much respect right there, and then just blows right back through him.
Coming into this race, James seemed like he had the mental edge. He'd just come off 2 hot wins in Canada, and the kid was absolutely flying.
Oh, and Fonseca goes down through the rhythm section, thrown up over the bar, down just like that, out of the lead.
They definitely stepped up the track design and the intensity level of the obstacles, making the whoop section as hard as they did. It took its toll on Ricky Carmichael.
Have we seen everything out of him yet? You think?
Carmichael do the whoops.
We talked about how vicious those whoop section could be.
With Carmichael down, Stewart moved into second place, and he was hunting Chad Reed. With the look in his eyes that night, there was no way he was going to be denied a win.
Back on the podium here tonight. Meanwhile, it's Chad Reed out in front, but for how long? Here comes Stewart. Reed bangs into the side of him. Oh, tremendous side-by-side competition, but it's Stewart who comes out with the #1 spot, and this crowd goes crazy.
Stewart set such a blistering pace that night. The kid was killing it. Can anybody rise to his level?
And here comes Carmichael to take over third from LaRocco.
When Carmichael went down that night, he lost the battle, but he's still in the war. He claimed third place, and James Stewart took home the win. It was a huge victory for him.
The Anaheim opener goes tremendous performance.
I felt really good tonight and just couldn't put it together.
Anaheim 1, he was able to come out and do exactly what he needed to do. And I think that race gave him more confidence than anything. Whether or not he's going to be able to do it for 16 rounds, we're waiting to find that.
James Stewart brings home the win, Chad Reed comes in second, and Ricky Carmichael in third. And they do have nice Supercross girls this year. Second stop on the Supercross Tour, Phoenix, Arizona. The Lights race in Phoenix, it's one of those races that you just love to be a part of. From the start to the finish, it was a battle. The wonder kid Ryan Villapoto pulled the whole shot again, but Andrew Short made quick work of it.
Side by side with Ryan Villapoto.
Langston.
Phoenix was good. I pulled whole shot again, and me and Short, we both went left on the start, and he actually caught the tough block with his front brake and put him down super quick.
Villapoto up to the inside. Oh!
Just like I thought, Short drops the front end, goes down, and Villapoto tries wheeling over his motorcycle. Didn't have the patience.
And I rode right over the top of him and short legs, and I fell over.
And final second and third spot, and there goes Linovic.
Lininovich taking the position at the white flag.
Pepsi's not that far in front of him. Look at Ryan Villapoto right behind Andrew Short. And here goes Andrew Short into third.
And here comes Langston.
Langston down.
Before he gets a chance.
Watch Langston coming inside.
Inside is Short.
Putting it down.
He's done to Villapoto gets by as well.
That is what we want to see in the Lights class. And Nathan Ramsey taking the win, Ralph.
Ramsey gets the win. Lininovich second. Langston, Villapoto.
The old man of the Lights class, KTM's Nathan Ramsey, bringing it home. Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart have established themselves as the titans of the Supercross class. With Stewart's commanding victory at Anaheim 1, it seems that he's gotten in Carmichael's head a little bit. Carmichael needs to get back on his game. Then there's Chad Reed, who's struggling to find his speed. And the king of Supercross still has a trick or two up his sleeve.
Phoenix was a trying time for James, for sure. He got a horrible start. I believe he went down in the start and had to battle himself all the way from the very back of the pack up to third place.
Oh, problems!
That's James Stewart down.
Stewart down right there. Oh, what a huge... He still can't get it started. He's going dead last.
McGrath hole shots and knack-knacks over the first triple jump. Took us back to the day when he established himself as the king.
Here comes Chad Reed. Chad Reed on the 22. The factory Yamaha rider-up former champion. Battling bar to bar with McGrath, and he's your new leader. Look at the roost as they get back on that run.
Chad Reed, who had kind of been off the back of the top two guys, was out front riding a pretty comfortable race. Looked like that he was going to have a pretty good opportunity to win.
Look at what happened to it. Right there it goes, down and away from him.
Look, unbelievable. The bike just shoots out front. Just shows how slippery this track is.
Even though Ricky has problems winning Anaheim 1, and that was his main goal this year, was to take that win at Anaheim 1, I think it just gave him that much more hunger to take that win at Phoenix.
Oh, up and over almost goes Ricky Carmichael.
Chad put him up into the tough block section. He was only able to double in, and Carmichael triple, put him into the tough blocks.
Puts him in the tough blocks. The crowd goes crazy. Everybody on their feet here at Chase Field. And Ricky Carmichael is in the lead. Where is James Stewart?
When you're that far back, you got to deal with lappers, and you don't know which way lappers are going to go. So you have to be cautious and paying attention to your surroundings more so than, and keeping your eye on where your number one contender's at.
Mike LaRocco on the 5. That's who he's fighting with. That's for 9. Oh, and he gets to the inside of him and takes the spot away.
He's been able to do that this year, and you know, I've got to hand it to the kid. He's so young. People don't realize how young he is and how much pressure he has on his shoulders at this age. Unfortunately, people come down a lot harder on him than they would just your every average rider. Not only Phoenix is, in a sense, almost a hometown crowd for him. That's where his wife is from. He had thousands of friends and family, and not to mention fans there. A lot of pressure was on him that weekend, and I think when he took the win and his celebration or his victory lap, it said it all. He couldn't have been happy. I think he was almost to the point of tears taking that win. It meant a lot to him.
Oh yeah, Ricky knows it. Here he comes to the finish line jump. He wins it in Phoenix. That is what hard work and dedication gets you right there.
The expression on Ricky's face said it all. He just had the weight of the world lifted off his shoulders. Claims his first victory, Reed in second, Stewart in third.
Everyone talks about how long their truck will last. When we build a truck, we think way down the road. The Toyota Tundra has been factory tested to survive years of abuse. That's why day in, day out, through the worst of the elements, heat, friction, and all the rigors of time, nothing stops a Tundra. Toyota, moving forward.
First time I saw Ryan Villapoto ride was in 2002 at the Loretta Lynn Amateur Nationals. He was a short little kid running an 85 that could barely see over the handlebars. But he was fast, humble, and dedicated. Mitch Payton is lucky to have a rider like him. He's one of the future stars of our sport. Here is our profile of the Washington native, Ryan Villapoto.
My name is Ryan Villapoto. I'm 17 years old and from Washington State, and I ride for Monster Energy Pro Circuit. Going from amateur to riding for Mitch was kind of a big jump. I did last 3 nationals, and then just started testing for Supercross after. I just kind of got used to it and worked my way into riding some Supercross all the time, and then from then on it was all pretty easy. My first season's been pretty good, especially the first race. I just came in hoping to get the whole shot as everybody else was, and it worked out for me. Actually, I had to go to last chance qualifier, and then I was starting on the outside, and luckily I got the jump.
We were talking about it during the break and how strong Ryan Villapoto could be if he gets a good jump, and he's got a tremendous one with a lot of distance between him and the rest of the field.
Led the first 10 laps, I think. And then Shorty caught me and passed me. And I just kind of stayed there in second, just waiting for the race to end. I was pretty winded being the first race, a little nervous, and rode really tight. So I thought I did all right for Anaheim 1 for the first Supercross. Racing with the Lessies, all the amateur stuff, kind of just knew what to expect, and I knew we were kind of pretty much racing amateur all pretty close. And I knew it wasn't going to be much different racing pros. Coming into Supercross, I knew I was better at Supercross than him. It helped out a lot having whoops. And after the first Anaheim, it was kind of easy after seeing him in practice and all that. And actually, the whoops got smaller as the races went on, so it helped him out a little bit. My goals for just to finish out the Supercross season is hopefully getting up out there on the podium. I just need to get good starts and then finish up there for the points.
It's going to be fun to watch Ryan Villapoto develop as a professional Supercross racer.
Through the pack, salvage the 12th, and then Krista mentioned at the opening there that there's going to be racetrack.
Anaheim 2 featured Michael Acey ripping a hole shot. But this race was all about the pro circuit rider, Grant Langston. He put on a show.
It looks like Alessi with another great start. The second one of the night for him.
Look at the KTMs, first and second. Nathan Rampy dropping into second. Grant Langston right there in third as well.
Michael Acey is super fast, but there's one part of the track he struggles on, the whoop.
Oh, Alessi bobbles.
But if he continues to get schooled like this, he'll figure it out. This was Grant Langston's night. Check out Langston's scrubbing abilities. I think he's learned a thing or two from James Stewart.
Takes the win and the points lead.
Coming into Anaheim 2, Stewart and Carmichael both had wins. But judging from the heat races and practice earlier in the day, Stewart seemed to have a little bit of an advantage. If Ricky couldn't find a way to get inside James's head, it seemed like it was going to be pretty tough to match his speed.
Here we go from Anaheim.
But you know Carmichael, he's gonna find a way.
Tedesco out of the middle.
Anaheim 2 was the race that we'd all been waiting for. All the way up to the second to last lap, it was a battle. You didn't know who was going to take home the win. Every single fan in the stadium was on their feet, cheering as loud as they possibly could. Racing's racing. Banging bars is all part of racing, last time I checked. But I think some of the guys in the class that have been in that class longer than Ivan may be a little bit offended or feel it's disrespectful for him not to be pulling out of the way and letting those guys by.
Big things happen. There it is. Oh, Stewart got the inside of Tedesco, takes over the lead. Tedesco trying to come up the inside of him.
Ivan's got the heart and the passion to take a championship home as well, and I know that he wants to do that more than anything in this world, and he deserves to be up on that podium each week.
Anaheim 2 was just such a great race. Well, there wasn't a whole lot of action, like not a lot of passing, but the intensity was just so high. Stewart was by far the fastest guy, and Ricky seemed like that he was kind of struggling.
A lot of the guys will mention it though, but they'd much rather be sitting right behind them in second, right where they want them to be, and wait for the perfect moment to attack.
The 44-second range. Oh! Stewart with a huge bobbling. Carmichael can't capitalize. Here he comes. Look at Carmichael.
Stewart made a lot of mistakes, and Carmichael seemed to gain confidence.
Ricky at that point was able to get into James's head, and he sat there and knew if he kept that pressure on him, sooner or later, James was going to make a little bit of a mistake, and sure enough, that's when he tipped the bike over, and Ricky was able to go around him and take the lead.
Their own facility, their own tracks.
Oh, and down goes Stewart. There was a rider down in the corner. It was Michael Brown. There were yellow flags warning him of that. Stewart goes down. He's lost the lead.
His front end will wash right here. Do you see the shiny part? His front end's going to wash right there. He goes down, the front end tucks, and just like that, James Stewart loses the lead in this race.
It's unfortunate that I'd have rather not won that way. I would have rather passed James fair and square, but you know, he was riding good, and I was, you know, waiting for a slip up.
It's the Anaheim opener that always been Carmichael, but he always won here in Anaheim too, and he picks up yet another.
Carmichael takes the big win. There's a lot about what it takes to be a champion.
Even though he said that that wasn't how he wanted to win, a win is a win and he'll take it, he knew that if he just kept him in that situation and kept pressuring him, sooner or later he was going to crack, and he did just that. It was probably the best race. It was one of the most memorable races that I've ever been around to witness, so it was pretty exciting just to be a part of it.
Carmichael brought home the win, Reed in second, Stewart in third.
So Mother Nature was on our side all the way up until San Francisco, and then all of a sudden she decides that she's going to strike down, and we're going to have deja vu of Anaheim 1 the year before. A lot of the riders have even stated that it was way worse than Anaheim 1. There were ruts that were 2 feet tall. How they're even able to keep it on 2 wheels without sliding out is beyond me.
Enthusiastic as they can as they wait for the gate to drop, and this one gets underway.
These are the kind of races we love. Filthy, cold, wet. They're meant for the tough guys. Ryan Villapoto grabbed the whole shot, and we saw Brett Metcalf put on his best race so far this year. Just gutted it out. First casualty of the night, Grant Langston.
He's on the ground. He's doubled two sections, and Grant Langston down, our points leader.
Villapoto was only one.
Look at Villapoto trying to jump the finish line, doubling, goes down.
You gotta admire Villapoto's enthusiasm, but on this one he paid for it. He decided to check out a tough block.
I went for the finish line the first lap, and didn't work out for me. I cased it a little bit, and being sideways, it spit me over the bars, and I think I got up like fourth.
And he can hang in there. But Metcalf on the 123 bobbles, and there goes Ramsey for the lead. He's going to go down to the last corner. If he bobbles, it's over. Metcalf trying to get around the outside.
One of the closest lights finishes I've ever seen. Nathan Ramsey in first, Brett Metcalf in second, and Michael Alessi in third place. His very first podium in Supercross. With both Ramsey and Alessi on the box, it was a good day for KTM. Nathan Ramsey with a hard-earned victory. With the race being this muddy, throw everything out, because you never know what's going to happen. It just all comes down to who wants it the most. So Nick Way gets out in front, Bubba's in second place, and Carmichael's in third. And the problem with a mud race is your bike gets heavier and heavier every lap. It changes the way you ride and everything you do. And they're still jumping double jumps.
San Francisco was not kind to Chad Reed. It was sort of the same as Anaheim 1 in 2005. It probably was playing a bit of a mental game with him for sure. He had such horrible luck at Anaheim 1 in 2005.
Tonight's race once again. Oh, and Chad Reed is down.
Just like last year.
It's really hard to believe that Chad actually came up to the fifth. It was like he was not even there. But you know, what a way to salvage the season.
Look at Carmichael's bike get swallowed up by this rut. It was bad.
The ability to take advantage of a night like tonight and blow open a points lead. But that bobble right there getting caught up with a lap rider is the kind of thing that can open the door for Ricky to take the lead away.
Yeah, the best thing for
the mudder up there in San Francisco this year, it was just incredible.
The best lap of the race, a 110 for James Stewart, and it's a 109 for Carmichael.
The lap traffic, and you said at the beginning of the show, Ralph, Carmichael used it to his advantage. Stewart was unable to double the triple section. Carmichael doubles past and uses two lappers as blockers, and now takes over the lead.
Unbelievable. Oh, and how will James Stewart respond now?
The two guys that wanted it the most came into that race, and they didn't care whether it rained or not. We want to take control of the Supercross Championship, and we want to win.
Get it done. Can he find one little spot to close that gap? Oh, they look right at each other, eye to eye.
Looks right at him.
Oh, Carmichael stumbles.
Carmichael walks it through the ruts. Now he seatmounts in that double section. They're side by side coming into your living room.
Stewart retakes the lead with 2 to go. I've never seen a race that was so slow, that was so thrilling. The white flag is out. Here we go. One more lap.
It was kind of just a slow motion battle the entire race, all the way down to the very last lap, the lead changes that took place several times, and then all of a sudden James was able to get past RC and make it happen. Nobody's excited to race under those conditions, but they were able to excel when they needed to.
Checkered flag goes to James Stewart. What an amazing race at what looked like a snail's pace.
I don't really see anything separating us except for 18th, 19th lap and see who wants to gut it out.
Stewart climbs back up on top, Ricky in second, Nick Way in third. You may not recognize this guy's face, but I know you'll recognize his photos. This is Simon Cudby, one of the best Supercross photographers in the business.
Hey, my name is Simon Cudby. I'm a photographer for RacerX magazine. I'm originally from England. I live in Southern California now. I've been shooting for RacerX for about 6 years. I've been shooting Supercross since about 1996. I think one of the best parts of my job is going out to the races, sometimes going to the riders' houses to do photo shoots for clients. I have a side contract deal with Fox, so I shoot a lot of stuff of Ricky and James, and I've been out to their houses on numerous occasions, and that's always cool, just to go out to the middle of nowhere and see these guys practicing, and then they do some play riding for photos, so it's always good to shoot with those guys. Nick Way's great to shoot. Chad Reed, I went to his place in Florida this year. Shooting on the track when the races are going on, it's pretty intense. You know, I know a lot of the riders, and when you see them on the line, they've just got pure race face on. You know, when the gate drops, it's mayhem out there for sure. You've really got to watch your back and sort of make sure that you're facing the right way, and you don't want to get clipped in the back by a bike coming off the track. If I could give anyone advice that wants to be a motocross photographer, it would be go out and learn photography first, and then shoot motocross once you've got photography dialed.
Privateer Clayton Miller is from Texas, and he's all Texas, even the attitude.
14 is the first time I threw a leg over a motorcycle. I'm 14 years old, and I didn't know such thing as Supercross. I didn't even know about it. I live in Houston, there's Supercross, I'd never even heard of it. Somehow I was hidden from it. Yeah, like guys that are winning, they've been riding since they were like 5, 6. Alessi's probably like 3. And I just wanted to ride around in the pastures, you know, just some hillbilly. My mom didn't even know I had a motorcycle for a while. Pops kept it hidden from her, you know. At the ranch riding, and she didn't even know about it. Went to Ponca City my first year, won the beginner national championship. But that's how it all started.
Even though Clayton Miller got a late start, he's still competing at the highest level of his sport, with the top riders in the world. I'd say he's not doing too bad.
Being a so-called factory rider or being on a satellite team where you get to fly in is the ability to fly in and have a solid schedule through the week. You know, from week to week it changes being a privateer, and you just got to wing it and do the best you can.
And wing it he does.
Everyone talks about how tough their truck is, how much it can haul. But when we build a truck, we like to think beyond the first load, to the second, the third, the fourth. That's why load after load, job after job, year after year, nothing stops a Tundra. Toyota trucks, moving forward.
Anaheim 3 in the lights class ended up being another great race. All Nathan Ramsey had to do was stay up in the top 3. He had a comfortable points lead. And that night, everything went wrong. Langston had another great race, flawless. The kid is a tough competitor.
He was trying to get on the inside of Mike Alessi. The track's polished and shiny, front end wash, and down he went.
Ramsey had some problems, fell down, stalled his bike, and couldn't get it started. He's out of the points chase. In Supercross, it's that fast. 1 minute you're on top, and the next minute you're on the bottom. Grant Langston has a few years of experience under his belt. I'm sure that's why he ends up in the top spot a lot. Andrew Short took second, and Mike Alessi took third.
3 once again was a great race. A lot of action, a lot of things happen. Having Stewart go down when he's got the whole shot, just grabs a little too much front brake or whatever and washes the front end down.
Oh, James Stewart is down!
I had a front row seat for James' crash. I was on the inside of it.
50 motorcycle, we saw this in Phoenix. Oh, man.
Unbelievable, but we've seen Stewart bounce back from that. You mentioned Phoenix.
Got back up, tried to regroup, tried to catch his sights on RC and was trying to make it up to the front of the pack. In the meantime, as he did this, he dumped it again. He didn't mean to, but he took out MC. You know, that's part of racing, and I don't think James meant to by any means. He just had his sights on RC and basically was focused on, I gotta catch him, I gotta catch him, I gotta catch him, and wasn't really looking around to see who he was banging bars with.
And that's McGrath and Stewart.
Stewart just made such an aggressive pass, jumped to the inside of Jeremy, and it all happened so quick that I'm sure Jeremy didn't even know that he was there. So a huge mistake by running into Jeremy. They both go down. After that, showed a little bit of immaturity by not being able to settle down and ride for that third place position. Falls down just by making small, mental mistakes.
And down goes Stewart again.
Wow.
Something's got to be wrong, you think, with the handling of the bike?
Chad's been a little bit off the pace so far this season. He's doing everything he possibly can to take it up to that next level.
Here comes Chad Reed to the inside. Quick, aggressive block path move on.
He's sitting second in points. People aren't really talking about him too much, but he's kind of flying in under the radar.
Getting seconds and thirds and a fifth isn't really cutting it.
He's used to winning. He's a champion. He's used to going on 6-race win streak. So obviously for him, it's an unfamiliar position. But he just knows if he just works hard, those opportunities are going to come. And he knows that as the year progresses, he'll be up there, on the top of the podium.
With thousands of races under his belt, Carmichael has learned how to capitalize on his opponent's mistakes.
Carmichael did just what we expected him to do, to ride like the champion that he is. He's had so many wins and so many championships that he really knows how to settle in and get the job done. And some nights are going to be easy. Anaheim 3 was one of those nights.
Here he comes to the finish line. Ricky Carmichael's going to win 2 here at Angel Stadium. He takes the win and extends his points lead.
It's just a test, it's a test between myself, Chad, and James.
Ricky ended up number 1, Chad number 2, and Ivan Tedesco number 3 with his first podium finish. So there you go, the first 5 races of the 2006 Supercross season. It's been awesome. These guys have been competitive, they've been after each other in both classes. I am just amazed at the talent level of Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart. Can Chad Reed rise to their level? I don't know. I guess that's why we go to the races. I'm Greg Godfrey for Supercross Exposed. Check out the next issue, see what happens.